The history of the formation of Brunei through different periods. 1. Prehistoric period and the formation of early communities. The history of Brunei can be traced back to prehistoric times when the region was inhabited by indigenous communities. Archaeological evidence suggests that humans have lived in the area for thousands of years, primarily surviving through hunting, gathering, and fishing. Archaeologists have discovered traces of early civilization in Brunei, including stone tools and remnants of ancient settlements. This indicates that the region had been inhabited long before it evolved into an organized kingdom. 2. The early Brunei kingdom, 6th to 14th century. By the 6th century, Brunei was under the influence of major Southeast Asian civilizations, particularly Srivijaya from Sumatra and later Majapahit from Java. Historical records from China and India indicate that Brunei had early trade relations with neighboring states. By the 14th century, Brunei had established itself as an independent kingdom, breaking away from Majapahit's control. This period marked the beginning of a distinct ruling system with a monarch, sultan, as the head of state. 3. The Golden Age of the Brunei Sultanate, 15th to 17th century. The 15th century marked the Golden Age of Brunei, when the kingdom became a dominant maritime and trading power in the region. The rise of Islam. One of the most significant events in Brunei's history was the adoption of Islam in the late 14th or early 15th century. Sultan Muhammad Shah is considered the first Muslim ruler of Brunei, and since then, Islam has been the official religion of the nation. Territorial expansion. During the reign of Sultan Bolkiah, 1485 to 1524, Brunei expanded its influence across much of Borneo, including present-day Malaysia and the Philippines. Sultan Bolkiah also maintained strong trade relations with major regional powers such as China and the Ottoman Empire. Trade and international relations. Brunei was one of the major trading centers in Southeast Asia, dealing in spices, gold, camphor, and ivory. Traders from China, India, and the Middle East frequently visited Brunei for commerce. 4. Decline and territorial loss, 17th to 19th century. After its golden age, Brunei began to decline due to various factors. European colonial pressure. In the 16th century, European powers such as the Spanish, Portuguese, and later the British and Dutch expanded their influence in Southeast Asia. Brunei faced Spanish attacks in the late 16th century, particularly in 1578 when Spanish forces briefly occupied its capital. Internal conflict and territorial loss. By the 19th century, Brunei further weakened due to internal disputes and British expansion. Territories that once belonged to Brunei, such as Sarawak and Sabah, were gradually taken over by the British. In 1841, James Brooke, a British explorer, was granted control over Sarawak by the Sultan of Brunei in exchange for assistance in suppressing a rebellion. However, Brooke gradually consolidated his power and declared Sarawak an independent state under his rule, weakening Brunei's authority. In 1888, Brunei officially became a British protectorate, ending its era of independence. 5. British colonial rule, 1888 to 1984. Brunei remained under British rule for nearly a century, but unlike many other colonies, it retained its monarchy. The Sultan continued to hold authority over internal affairs, while Britain controlled foreign policy and defense. During World War II, Brunei was occupied by Japan from 1941 to 1945, leading to severe economic and social damage. After the war, Brunei remained a British protectorate until it achieved independence. 6. Independence and modernization, 1984-present. Brunei gained full independence from Britain on January 1, 1984, under the leadership of Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah. Since then, the country has focused on economic development, particularly in the oil and gas sector, making Brunei one of the wealthiest nations in Southeast Asia. The Brunei government follows an Islamic monarchy model, combining absolute rule with Sharia law. Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah continues to wield supreme power and governs the country with conservative policies while maintaining economic and diplomatic ties with other nations. 7. The future of Brunei. Brunei faces several challenges for the future, including reducing its dependence on oil, diversifying its economy, and adapting to modern global changes. The government has taken steps to promote tourism, finance, and technology sectors to ensure sustainable development. Pushpin conclusion: Brunei's history reflects the rise and fall of a small yet influential kingdom in Southeast Asia. From its golden era as a maritime empire to colonization and eventual independence, Brunei has undergone significant transformations to emerge as one of the wealthiest nations today.